So what I want to start off by asking you guys is, do any of you guys know the symptoms of alcohol poisoning, or what to do if you're around somebody who has alcohol poisoning? How many of you guys have ever been around somebody who's underage and is drinking? See, that's a lot. So what I want to start off by telling you is the symptoms of alcohol poisoning, that way you guys just know. It's mental confusion, or if the person goes to sleep and you can't wake them up, vomiting, seizures, slow breathing, which is fewer than eight breaths per minute, and irregular breathing, which is 10 seconds or more between each breath, and then also hypothermia, which is low body temperature. And then what you need to do is you need to know the signs that I just told you. You need to be aware that if the person does go to sleep or pass out, then they may die, and you need to call 911. So this is a problem. Many of you guys raised your hands for being around somebody who was under the age and drinking, and nobody raised their hands for knowing about alcohol poisoning. So what the problem is people under the age of 21 are drinking more and more every day. And the problem is that it's such a controversial topic in our society that schools and colleges would rather try to ban it and not talk about it with their students than create seminars or meetings where students can go and learn about how to handle alcohol in the proper way. The three most important issues that college students have with underage drinking is binge drinking, car accidents, and injuries. Binge drinking, I'm just going to come up with a scenario. Let's say that there was a group of college students that are under the age of 21 that are invited to a party where there are going to be people who are over the age of 21 and they are going to be drinking. So what binge drinking is where it's usually 5 drinks for men and 4 drinks for women within 2 hours. So the students would sit around in their dorm room and they would drink and get as much alcohol in their system as they could so that they would be feeling just as good as everybody else at the party, which is really dangerous. And then car accidents is the second one. And according to the National Institute on Alcohol and Alcoholism, about 5,000 people under the age of 21 are killed every year in automobile accidents while under the influence. And the third one is injuries. High school students and college students usually drink in underground situations, and underground is usually known as like high school parties, house parties, where there is no adult supervision, nobody who knows the signs of alcohol poisoning, nobody who knows how to handle situations like that. And it's very dangerous. And most injuries go unreported because the student or the underage drinker is too afraid to call the police or call 911 because they're worried about the consequences of being caught. Now, the solution that I would like to propose is for the drinking age to be lowered to 18. At the age of 18 in the United States, that's when a child becomes an adult. At the age of 18, you can buy lottery tickets, go to a casino, vote for president, be tried as an adult in prison, join the military and die for your country, get married, and buy cigarettes. So basically what the government is saying is that they're okay with an 18-year-old voting for our future leader, or starting a family, or throwing away their money, and even buying tobacco. And buying tobacco is the one that I want to talk about the most. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, surprisingly enough, more people die by tobacco use a year than HIV, illegal drug use, alcohol use, motor vehicle injuries, suicides, and murders combined. So it's really mind-boggling to me that the U.S. would allow an 18-year-old to buy cigarettes, which has a better chance of killing you than a beer. Now I want to go back in time a little bit to July 17, 1984, which was when the Minimum Drinking Age Act was signed by Ronald Reagan. And this was whenever the drinking age of 21 was set. Before that, states had their own regulations on drinking age, and this resulted in something called blood borders, which people who lived in a state would drive around to surrounding states where the drinking age was lower, and they would drink and then drive home, which caused a lot of people to be killed in accidents. So this is something that's brought up by people who are against lowering the drinking age, because to them, when the age was raised to 21, the automobile accidents were decreased. But if you think about it this way, the automobile accidents were decreased because the age stayed the same around the entire United States. So underage drinkers no longer had to drive around to surrounding states to have a drink. So if the age was changed to 18 and underage drinkers were taught properly how to handle it, I think that the automobile accidents would either decrease or stay the same. And I also want to talk about drinking on college campuses. In 2009, a group of over 100 college presidents, including the heads of Dartmouth, Virginia Tech, and Duke, signed declarations stating that the 21-year-old drinking age wasn't working. So they're even aware that students on their college campus are drinking. And the only college campus that I really have experience on is OU, because that's where my brother goes to school, and I have a bunch of friends that go to school there. And I go there to visit them quite a bit. And it's really funny. I drive down Lindsay, which is a main road in Norman, to get to OU. And there's a stoplight right before you get to the campus. And if you look forward, you can see students walking to class, you can see buildings, I can see my brother's dorm tower. And when I look to my right, there's a liquor store, and it's called Campus Liquor. But OU is supposed to be an alcohol-free campus. It's like 10 feet off of the campus, but it's like right there. So that doesn't make any sense to me. And one of my really good friends, Ian, he works at Raising Cane's, which is at the bottom of the Adams Tower. And he works on the weekends, and he sees a lot of drunk people that come in to buy chicken and stuff like that. And when I get into the elevator to go up to my brother's dorm on the weekends, I've seen piles of throw up in the elevator. And when I get out of the elevator, I've seen like packages of beer sitting by the trash can. Of course, they're empty. And my brother does know a lot of people on his dorm who have beer in their refrigerators. So it's not something that can be stopped. I mean, my brother was required to go to alcohol-free meetings like before the season or the semester started for both semesters, where they talked about how it wasn't an alcohol-free campus and things like that, but obviously it's not working. So if the legal drinking age was lowered so that teens could drink, they would drink more openly and freely in places that were regulated, like bars, instead of in the underground situations, which potentially kill them. So it's understandable to me that we need to worry about the maturity and the responsibility of teens when they are under the influence, but what we need to realize is that they're going to drink no matter what. So I think that it's best that we educate them instead of trying to smack their hand for being curious.